The Legacy of Illusion. Revisiting Iran's political tragedy in an era of futile confrontations. Author Ghasem GharehDaghi.
AVAYeBUF.com.
Modern Iran is a battlefield of bitter and unresolved conflicts between two opposing forces, both trapped in their profound contradictions. On one side stands the Islamic Republic, wielding power and weapons like a fragile castle built on the shaky foundations of despotism. The castle whose owners even admit their minority status. On the other side, groups such as monarchists with seemingly resonant yet hollow slogans flaunt their illusion of majority support, exasperating societal wounds with a language steeped in hatred and insults. The Islamic Republic has maintained its grip on power through suppression and arms, relying not on public legitimacy but on security military structures and unregulated revenues from exploiting national resources. Leaders' acknowledgement of their minority status is itself proof of their fragile claim to represent the people. Yet the contradictions do not end here. A regime that claims divine legitimacy resorts to methods so egregious they would be unacceptable even in most regimes in history. Meanwhile, the monarchists, despite possessing the potential to oppose the Islamic Republic, remain trapped in nostalgia and a delusion of majority support. Rather than analyzing the reasons for the Pahlavi regime's downfall, they deflect blame and propagate hate, portraying themselves as saviors of the nation. This approach not only fails to resonate with the younger generation and political activists, but also deepens social divisions. Despite their opposition to the Islamic Republic, monarchists lack a practical plan or a clear vision for the future. Their rhetoric is driven by emotion and abuse, leaving little room for logic and awareness among their supporters. At a time when Iranian society desperately needs modern, scientific, and pluralistic discourse, such aggressive narratives only hinder progress. What unites the Islamic Republic and the monarchists is their reliance on the language of violence, one with weapons, the other with insults. This violence, though outwardly different, has a similar outcome: the destruction of social capital. A society where the dominant discourse revolves around eliminating the other will never achieve stability or progress. The way forward. 1. Return to rational and pluralistic discourse. The future of Iran requires a dialogue-based narrative that emphasizes understanding and compromise instead of elimination. This discourse must welcome diverse perspectives and focus on building the future rather than dwelling on the past. 2. Deepening public awareness. Political movements without social awareness are destined to fail. Opposition groups must prioritize education and raising the political literacy of the populace instead of relying on shallow slogans. 3. Breaking free from historical illusions. Both the Islamic Republic and the monarchists must escape their historical delusions. The former must recognize that the era of religious governance is over, while the latter must accept that nostalgia for the Pahlavi dynasty cannot address contemporary societal needs. 4. Unity in diversity. Opponents of the Islamic Republic must replace mutual destruction with an inclusive coalition. This unity should not be based on shared ideology, but on a common goal: freedom and democracy. Iran is caught in historical limbo, and the only escape is through embracing diversity, constructive dialogue, and rejecting hatred and violence among opposition forces. While the Islamic Republic, with its power of suppression, is the main obstacle to progress, replacing it with forces that rely on hatred and insults will only create a new cycle of tyranny. Iran's future depends on profound reflection and a cultural political revolution that transforms the nation's language and logic. Ghasem GharehDaghi, 27th of November.